Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go!
Looks like you already have.
I need guns. Alrighty guys, welcome back to Let's Talk About, the show. We talk about everything going on in the entertainment world, and I go out and find these stories that I'm interested in discussing with you, and I give you my thoughts, and hopefully you comment down below those thoughts as well. And before we start, press the subscribe button to get updates, to when all of these Let's Talk About episodes come out. And we got a lot of topics I'm very interested in talking about today. We're gonna get into pretty great stuff. So let's just get into it right now. Let's get into our first topic right now. X-Men. We know we have X-Men coming to the MCU. We also have X-Men 97 coming as well. And there has been like a bit of a rumor, reports these last few days that, Polaris, who is a part of, the Magneto, she is Magneto's daughter. I think half daughter in a way, and like half brother and sister of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And she is a character that I've very much been interested in because I think she's very cool. I think she's a very cool character. And you can still have that Magneto connection with her because she is part of that family. And there's been a lot of confirmed, there's been some things I was like, oh, she's going to be in the X-Men reboot, she's going to be in Secret War as well. Now that it's been officially confirmed where we're going to see Polaris and who should we play as, and it might be a bit different than what you expect. According to comicbookmovie.com, Neve Campbell confirmed to voice Polaris in X-Men 97 Season 2. Now, why I said it's been that she was rumored to be in a live-action X-Men role, it was basically they were talking about, Polaris is going to be in the X-Men reboot, or she's going to be in Doomsday, and still the rumor was Neve Campbell was going to play her. At first I thought, I don't really like that because, first off, nothing against Neve Campbell, but Polaris is supposed to be the youngest sibling of Magneto, and you get Neve Campbell. I'm like, listen, I don't have a problem with how old the actress is, but the Polaris, I kind of think we all imagine, wasn't being played by Neve Campbell, and I haven't seen enough of her work to really see it. Now we're saying X-Men 97. I think that fits perfectly. And, this is being confirmed by the creator of Season 1, the showrunner, Bao DeMayo, who, of course, was fired. And, it was being rumored about it, and he kind of came out on Twitter and said, incorrect. I cast her as Polaris in Season 2 of X-Men 97. He does amazing work bringing something new, and felt right to have a 90s icon pick up where Lorna's story was left in cold comfort. She's got some thoughts on Genosha. Now, of course, Polaris was seen in the original X-Men, series. And, she kind of was in a love triangle, I believe, with Havoc and Iceman. And, we've had a few more of, Polaris over the years. Of course, she was played by someone in The Gifted, and that's what kind of brought me onto the scene with Polaris. And she's quickly, Polaris has become one of my favorite X-Men characters. If it was to seeing her in Wolverine in the X-Men the animated series, and now we're getting her in X-Men 97. Listen, I love seeing Polaris. She is, like I said, one of my favorite X-Men characters. And Neve Campbell, I think, as voicing her is the way to go. I think portraying her in a live-action form, I would rather have someone else, to be quite honest. Listen. I know probably a lot of you are big Neve Campbell fans, of course, to her Scream fame. But, like I said before, I just don't see her playing a live-action Polaris wearing a shiny green helmet and wearing, a skin-tight suit, because that's Polaris has some iterations comics, but, I just don't see her as Polaris because they would have to do a much older Polaris, in my opinion. I would rather have a younger Polaris who's dealing with the fact, maybe in a live action one day, that Magneto's her father and she's related to the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and where does she fit in? Because with that you can go a lot of ways like that. You could go a Wanda Maximoff route where Wanda still has family, even if it's his half sister that she hasn't known. Because in the comics, she is their half sister. She's not like Polaris' mother is not the mother of Pietro and Wanda, and that kind of creates conflict because she never knows. I believe in the comics and even in the TV show that who her father was until it was very later in life. And I would love to see maybe one. I would love to see a Polaris and Scarlet Witch like on screen together. Like that's one of my dreams, because I'm a big Polaris fan. But I think this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be more excited for X-Men 97 season 2 because we saw some cameos from Polaris in that season, which got me excited because I am a very big Polaris fan. But we got Neve Campbell apparently voicing her, which I think is very good for animated. I think in live action it wouldn't really work, and I wouldn't really want that. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Neve Campbell has now been confirmed to voice Polaris in X-Men 97 season 2. Leave comments down below. Let's move on to our second topic here today. A movie that I originally had no interest in until the director of the movie, Travis Knight, was announced to direct this movie. And we've been seeing, we've heard some great things about this, and that movie is Masters of the Universe. And I've been very excited, for this movie because I've heard, at CinemaCon, they said, like, this movie looks beautiful. Travis Knight, I think, is one of the most underrated directors working in Hollywood today, making great movies like Kubo and the Two Strings, and of course, probably the best Transformers movie ever made, Bumblebee. And right now, he's in the middle of filming Masters of the Universe, which comes out next year. And of course, when they film a movie, we're going to see behind the scenes. We've already seen behind the scenes of Nicholas Galzine as Prince Adam, wearing his pink shirt and being super, super buff. And we talked about a few months ago about the transformation that these two actors and actress had for their roles. We saw a picture of Nicholas Galzine really buff, and we saw Camila Mendes with the Teela hair. To be quite honest, that's all we saw. But now we got our first look at her costume, and I have to say, it looks pretty good, according to a new report by thecomicmovie.com. Masters of the Universe set photos feature first look at Camila Mendes in costume as Teela. Now let's talk about this. Camila Mendes first. Let's talk about her. I've been liking her work more and more. Of course, I first saw her in Riverdale. Of course, I watched Riverdale for the first few seasons since I read the Archie comics as a kid. I would always go to Safeway and buy those comics, and like they'd have a little shop like, oh, I get to read Archie, and I watched the Riverdale, even though if it wasn't exactly what I imagined an Archie adaptation would be. But I feel after that she has gone on to do some pretty cool stuff. She's done a lot of rom-coms, which is like perfectly fine. A lot of people watch those. She had one on Amazon Prime that I actually thought was really interesting. And when she was cast as Teela, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like this might put her on the map. And now we got our first look at her costume. Listen. If you wanted to translate a live action from an animation to the screen, this is how you do it. Like, she looks like Teela. She's got the orange hair. She's got the white, the gold. Of course, they're not. I feel like this look looks more like the one from the revamped, the Kevin Smith, Masters of the Universe TV show, which I thought it's okay. I've tried watching it. It's not like my thing because I'm not really a Masters of the Universe guy, but she looks good, and she does look good. I'm gonna say it. She looks good. Like that's what I imagine. Now, of course, they're not gonna go for the older animated show look because that look is kind of a bit dated. They can't really put horns on her boobs, to be quite honest, because that's what the look was. And it's like, you can't really do that because then people are going to say certain things when they see that. But yeah, and of course, I want to see more. I want to see more set photos. I can't wait for this trailer to drop in like a year or so. But yeah, there's a picture of both of them standing next to each other. I'm like, yeah, that's Prince Adam, that's Teela. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, what are they going to do with Teela? Are they going to make her like the damsel in distress love interest, or are they going to do what they did with the Master of the Universe TV show on Netflix? Kind of make her this badass warrior. And the one thing I really liked about that show was like in the first episode, Teela was like the only one in the dark about like who He-Man really was. I remember watching. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool setup. And I think like in the end, I personally thought the show was okay. I thought it kind of. I think it got worse, honestly. The more seasons they did. But yeah, guys, what do you think of this look for Camila Mendes as Teela? I think it looks really, really great, and I think it gives us also kind of look to like what some of the other characters are going to look like and how good they might look as well when we see them in their costumes. But what do you guys think about this? Leave comments down below. And let's move on to our third topic here today. We got a brand new Spider-Verse show coming to Amazon next year. And we've talked about it a few times. It is Spider-Man Noir. And of course we're still a year away, but yesterday we got our first image and also a little teaser trailer for Spider-Man Noir, according to comicbookmovie.com. Spider Noir. Nicolas Cage delivers a mean right hook. Sensational first official trailer. Now, I'm not going to play the trailer. I didn't react to the trailer because it's like 30 seconds. I'm not going to react to a 30-second thing. I'm going to wait for an actual like teaser or trailer to come out for the show. But we got this first look at him. Wow, does it look good? Like, listen, I was in the comics and other times I saw Spider Noir. I was never really a fan of it until I watched Into the Spider-Verse and saw Nicolas Cage playing the character. I'm like, whoa, this guy could be a really cool character. Like having like this like 1920s, kind of detective like noir type of feel to the character could be really cool. And it looks like through this teaser that they are doing that. It looks like it's going to be black and white, which is usually what they do because in the Spider-Man Noir universe, it's usually like his world is black and white. And like, listen, hearing Nicolas Cage's character, I got like, oh my god, I'm back into the Spider-Verse, where he's making like, what you gonna do, you cries, wrecker? Like, this character is so cool. The look is great. It doesn't look like, a cosplay. It looks like a legit, really cool costume, and it looks like a character who would really appear in this black and white world. And of course, you got other people in here as well. Besides Nicolas Cage, you have Brendan Gleeson, which some people are thinking he might be playing a version of Kingpin. I'm like, oh, sign me up for that. Brendan Gleeson as Kingpin? Oh, that'd be very cool. And the teaser just shows some of the fight scenes, and it looks good. Like, for a TV show, it looks good. Now, it's not going to be movie level, but it's going to look damn good. And I believe in Amazon. Listen. We gotta look at the facts. Amazon knows how to create really great television. Look at Reacher. And then I'll go to their superhero content. The Boys, Invincible, Gen V. These are free superhero projects that people absolutely love. And like, listen, we're getting a Spider-Man series. Who's not going to watch it? I'm going to watch it. Like, say what you want about Sony and the Spider-Man universe. For years, I have been telling people, like, since this channel started, like, Sony, do not make don't start turning villains into heroes. Stop making those movies. Stop making anti-hero movies. Focus on Spider-Man themed characters like characters like Spider Noir, maybe Ben Reilly. You know who I'm a big Ben Reilly fan. Julia Carpenter. Silk. These are characters that I want to see. That you can never really do those. In my opinion, you'll never get to a point in even Tom Holland's movies or even in a Spider-Man movie to introduce characters like that, because they're very much deep-cut characters. I'm like, listen, you might not be able to do movies about them, but you can do a TV series. You can do TV shows. And I love that they decide, listen, let's do a Spider Noir series. People love Nic Cage. People love Spider-Man. Let's give them a TV series. And listen, I'm tuning in day one to this. Listen, day one, I'm into this. This teaser is absolutely amazing. Like, Spider Noir looks freaking awesome. Like, this is the type of Spider-Man content I want to be seeing, If you're going to do, like, multiverse Spider-Man, like, jump in between universes, show a universe with Spider Noir. Do a Universal show about Ben Reilly. Do a show about Julie Carpenter. Maybe even do, like, a Black Cat or Silver Sable. Like, do characters like that we are interested in. Don't do these villain, anti-hero stories like Kraven, because we've all seen how that turns out. Not good. Not good at all. But guys, what do you think about this little teaser for Spider-Man Noir? And what do you also think about this first look? I think it looks great. I'm tuning the show day one, and I cannot wait to see more trailers for this come out. And before all the way, guys, let's move on to our next topic here today. We're doing a little box office update right now. I know it's Tuesday, I know you probably know the box office, but I still want to do it, to give you my thoughts on the box office. Now, the biggest thing that we were looking at this weekend is Thunderbolts. So let's go take a look at those numbers right now. So as we can see here, Thunderbolts did get number one at the box office, and it looks like I think it did an okay job. Listen, it did drop about 56% over the weekend, but it still made $32.3 million, which I think is good. And now the movie is at 271 worldwide. Listen, we all knew, I knew this. We all knew this, that Thunderbolts was not going to make a lot of money. Listen, we knew that. We knew the movie. Even if they're calling it the new Avengers now, I still didn't think, listen, people are still not probably going to go see it because, that Marvel still has sour taste in people's mouths, and these are a lot of B and C list characters. Listen, I have seen Thunderbolts 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. I absolutely love the movie. It's rising in the rankings as one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. I think it's a great movie. I want people to go see it, but I'm not everybody. Most people, I think, are not going to go see this weekend one. I think a lot of people see this and are like, oh, I'll wait for it on streaming. That's what's happening. But it is at 200. It's past 250 already. Listen, if Thunderbolts can make in the $500 million range worldwide, I think it's a success. Listen, to me, it has to make more than Captain America. If this movie makes more than Captain America Brave New World, I would call it a success. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, only $450 million? That's not really a success. I'm like, listen. How many movies do we see nowadays cracking $450 million? Like, not a lot. Like, even the only one I think above 400 million are Captain America and Minecraft this year. There's not a lot of other movies that are that high in box office. So, Marvel making at least 500 million, maybe even close to that in this box office run, I think it will. Now, it still's got a few more weeks to go, and the thing is, the competition is coming in strong. We got Final Destination Bloodlines this weekend, which I'm suspecting will overtake it, but I do think it will honestly be close between Thunderbolts and what was it, Final Destination Bloodlines. But the other thing you got to worry about is Sinners this weekend. Listen. Sinners is coming back to IMAX this weekend. And we all know people ask for it. And I've been looking at the local seats in my big cinema with the big IMAX that it's playing at the AMC Metron 16. The seats are basically sold out. Like, Sinners, I think, is actually going... I'm going to say this. Sinners is going to have a jump from this weekend's box office. Which, let's go into that. Sinners made $22 million, still looking good. Sinners is almost at $300 million, guys. Like, This is amazing. It's already made $200 million domestic. Now, of course, internationally, it is not making a whole ton of money, which, I think is expected. I don't know if this had a really big, international theatrical release. Like, maybe in some places it hasn't come out yet. But, hey, this movie is a success. No matter what, you have to look at this, as a tremendous success, an original IP, almost at $300 million. This is a great success for Sinners. And I think it's going to make even more this weekend. Listen. You're putting it back in IMAX. People love the movie. People love the IMAX experience with this movie. This movie, I think, is going to make $30 million. I think it's going to make more than it made this weekend, which was $22 million. I think it's going to have a very high increase. I think this movie is going to... I think by end of this weekend that it is going to be very close to $350 million, maybe even at 350. I'm making that out there. I'm gonna say 350 for Sinners, and if they get to 300 plus and beyond, even the 350, that is a tremendous success. That is, you're already popping bottles. You should be open up. If that happens, you should be open up the oldest bottle of champagne or wine you have. Be like, we win. Absolute win. It's going to make money this weekend. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's going to be number one this weekend. I think Sinners could be number one. I think Thunderbolts could be number one. And I also think Final Destination Bloodlines will be number one. But Final Destination, those movies, I think have never really made a whole bunch of money. But I've heard really good things. About Bloodlines. And then the last one, of course, to talk about is Minecraft. Congratulations to them for passing the $900 million mark. And unfortunately, I'm going to say this. It's not going to make $1 billion. Because I'm going to tell you why. They just put Minecraft on the streaming. They just dumped it onto DVD today. I don't know why. Listen. Minecraft. Like, why are you dumping it now? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that is such a short window. Listen. I know it's May now. Came out in March. But, like, you're just right there. Right there to $1 billion. And now everyone's going to be watching this at home rather than going to the movie theater. So, I don't think Minecraft makes $1 billion. I'm going to say this. Sure, it is now at 909.6 worldwide. But I don't think it makes $1 billion. I'm just saying. I don't think it is because Warner Bros. Made a really bad decision by dumping it on POV, because now people can go watch it at home and like, oh, we don't need to go to the theaters. We'll just rent it for $20 or watch it for $25. Like, that is what I think was a mistake with. But hey, who knows how this weekend's gonna go? I think third weekend for Thunderbolts. If Thunderbolts can cross 300 million this weekend, it will be in good standing to beat out Captain America. I think Sinners might even get to 350 this weekend. And I do think Minecraft is going to drop. And I think Final Destination Bloodlines, it might not even be number one this weekend. I don't think a lot of people are going to go see that movie. Even if I've heard a lot of good things about it. But guys, what do you think about the box office this weekend? And what are your thoughts about my predictions for the next weekend box office as well? Before all the way, guys, let's move on to our final topic here today. I knew it was coming. I knew this was coming. It is official, guys. Tomorrow, we will look up again as Superman will drop its full trailer tomorrow. According to thecomicmovie.com, Superman, the full trailer for James Gunn's DCU reboot, arrives Wednesday. Check out a new teaser. Listen. I knew the teaser trailer was going to be important. But I knew this main trailer, I think, is even more important. Listen, this main trailer is going to show us. It is going to show us the story. We're finally going to get a look at the overall story and like what's really the plot about. And we're going to see more character interactions in that first teaser. We really didn't see any speaking except a little kid saying, "Come save me, Superman." Like, that's all we got. I want to see interactions. Like, I'm not expecting the whole plot of the movie to come out. But what I am expecting is seeing the relationships in this trailer. Seeing the Lois and Clark relationship. See Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor and see his disdain for Superman. I want to see that disdain. And, if it's possible, give us an idea who the villain might be. Like, I feel like Lex Luthor is one of the villains in the movie, but I don't think he's the main villain. I honestly think, the villain could be Doomsday, or it could be Ultraman, which would tie into the multiverse, which we are kind of seeing also in Peacemaker through that first teaser trailer we got. So we could see some of that. But hey, this movie, listen, there's a lot of people out there saying this movie will not make $1 billion. Listen, I'm going to say this. I think Superman makes $1 billion. Listen, I do think it makes $1 billion. I'll tell you this why. People are excited for this. Like, listen. The Superman teaser trailer got insane amount of views, being one of the top most viewed trailers of all time. If this trailer comes out tomorrow and beats those numbers, and like, I think this movie is close to $1 billion. Listen, I am excited for Superman. It is my most anticipated movie this year. And because I watched that teaser and it got me so much more excited. Listen, there's a lot of people out there also trying to hate on this movie. There is. I'm going to say that. There's a lot of haters. We have the Zack Snyder fans who think everything James Gunn does is a complete mistake. And we also have the people who are like, oh, look at him. It's too colorful. It's too colorful. Like, this isn't the Superman we want. I'm like, listen, I think people forget Superman is a hopeful character. He is supposed to inspire hope. Like, listen, I get the whole thing. Like, we've had so many evil Supermans, if that's the Homelander, to Omni-Man, even, Sentry is a bit of an evil Superman. And, like, I think in today's world, we like to see, evil versions of characters. We like to see bad people, and, like, listen, Henry Cavill Superman, I absolutely love. But, for me, that movie was not a Superman who showed hope. I watched this teaser, I look at these posters of Superman, and I get a sense of hope. I see the color. Listen, the big thing for me are the colors. It shows me how bright this world is. And it also tells me that this Superman is a bright person because he's wearing these bright colors. That he's trying to represent something. In a world, like, I love what James Gunn said. He's like, listen, there's a lot of hate in this world today, but he's trying to make a movie about just a good guy trying to do a good thing. When there's a lot of people who see probably him and like this movie as a bad thing. It's like, oh, too much color, too hopeful. We want dark colors like Zack Snyder. I'm like, listen, Zack Snyder's, I love Man of Steel. But of course, we never got another Superman movie after that because it didn't make a whole lot of money. Like, it made, I think, an okay amount of money, but not what they were expecting. I think Superman has to be not just a good box office success, but it has to be a critical success. And I do think that this project is one of James Gunn's most important. Listen, James Gunn has made a lot of great things. If that's the Creature Commandos, if that's the Peacemaker, the Guardians trilogy. He's made a lot of movies, in my opinion, about, unknown characters that he made us care about. Well, Superman, people know this guy. And, a lot of people said, oh, James Gunn does not know how to tell, heart. He's just a comedy guy. And I always say, like, listen, go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and tell me if you do not cry when that little trash panda almost dies. Don't tell me you feel something for Weasel in Creature Commandos when you see him being accused of killing all those children. Don't tell me you feel sad when you see Peacemaker's origin story about his brother. Sure, James Gunn is he writes great comedy, but he can also write so much heart into his projects, and that's why I believe in this, because I see those moments in those movies and those shows that he does, and how he's able to make us be laughing our asses off for 1 minute and then making us literally crying about a space raccoon and a talking tree. He's just such a brilliant creator, and I think the people who just want to hate this, I think they're a bit bigoted. I think they just want this movie to fail. I never want any movie to fail. So on Wednesday, I'll be putting on my Superman sweater and my Superman shirt, sitting down with you guys and watching this trailer, being excited, being hopeful, because this is the start of a new universe. This is the start of a new Superman, and we should be excited. We're getting a Superman movie. Like, in my lifetime that I have been alive, I have only had the chance to go see one Superman movie in theaters, which I remember, and that was Man of Steel. And I've always, at times, I've always felt like, why do we need Superman? Why is Superman a character we need to see on screen? I think Superman is so much more relevant today than he's been since he was created, because, like I said, we live in a world sometimes where it feels like everyone is hating everything. And Superman is this good guy who inspires hope, who inspires people. Listen, I think this movie's going to be special. I already seen the first teaser. I think it's going to be special, and I hope you guys go into that trailer, not judging it anything before you see it. Just go and, like, listen, we're getting Superman. We're getting characters like Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, Hawkgirl. We're getting a freaking Green Lantern finally again in the movie. We're getting Mr. Terrific. We're going to see these characters on screen, and I hope tomorrow we all go in with a smile on our faces, and we end up finishing that trailer being like, this movie will slay. Guys, and that's it for this episode. Let's talk about it. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.